For this, I wouldn't say elementary, my dear Watson. It's more like detective high school. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about the Netflix original Enola Holmes, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Henry Cavill, and Sam Claflin. Look, I'll do my best not to spoil much about this movie, but I do have to talk about some of the stuff that happened in it. I don't want to spoil much because it is a mystery movie, so of course you don't want anyone really spoiling the big surprises for you. I will tell you that I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I only had very minor problems with it, and I will discuss those first. So if you want to know about the problems I had, you'll hear it near the very first of the review without me really giving anything much away. But other than that, I found this movie to be a lot of fun. I found the characters, well, I'd say that I found the characters charming, but one of them is not very charming at all. And I'll talk about him again pretty soon. But it's his character's supposed to be that way. I liked the acting in this. I liked the mystery. I liked the characters. I liked the setting. And again, I had like one really minor problem with this movie, and I'm going to talk about that here in a bit. But first, what the movie is about is Enola Holmes, who is your narrator for the movie. She has grown up with her mother, where her brothers, the famous Sherlock Holmes and his brother Mycroft Holmes, they left home early in life to kind of seek their fame and fortune and everything, their careers. So Enola, which by the way, she tells you this at the beginning, is alone spelled backwards. She grows up with her mom, played by Helena Bonham Carter, and she teaches her not to be, she's, it's the time when, ladies should be proper, right? And that actually plays into the plot, I will say that. She teaches Enola the not so common things a lady could learn back in them times. And she grows up with her, and when Enola turns 16, mother disappears, and she actually leaves clues, and it's up to Enola to find her, but standing in her way is her brother Mycroft, who, whenever I said there was someone that wasn't so charming, well, that's Mycroft. He's kind of a douche in this. Mycroft kind of stands for the non-progression of life when it comes to he's not, I wouldn't say he's the villain of the movie, but you could kind of see him as such. And then Sherlock Holmes is a character that he has a few things to learn. As smart as he is, he still has a few things to learn. But Enola ends up getting away, and she goes to find her mother. That being said, she ends up on a side quest when she meets a young man on the run, and I don't really want to talk about his character. But her plans go to the wayside when she realizes she has to take part in this other adventure. Okay. What didn't I like about this movie? And again, this is very minor. But all of you know that I do love me some fourth wall breaking. And this movie is full of it. See, Enola Holmes, Millie Bobby Brown, is your narrator as the movie's going along. So it's a lot of turn to the camera, look straight at you during like in the middle of a conversation with someone else, and she'll talk to you. There's even a time when she asks you, do you have any ideas or do you have a clue? It almost felt like an episode of Dora or something at times. As much as I love fourth wall breaking, and as much as I loved it in this movie, I thought it was a very clever way to narrate the movie, to give you information. It felt like they were forcing information on you in dialogue where it's just like she's telling you what's going on, what's on her mind, what the situation is. I mean, it worked. But there are some times where she mugged for the camera, and she mugged for the camera a little too much. Like, she would take a glance at the camera and go, stuff like that. Again, it didn't ruin anything. I just thought they went to the well a little too much with the mugging for the camera. That being said, I still love the fourth wall breaking in this. It was just a clever way to move the story along, to see what was on her mind, to see how she thinks, things like that. If they make a future installment, which I really hope they do leave it open enough that you can. I would love to see, if with Henry Cavill involved as Sherlock Holmes, I would love to see both characters doing that. And then eventually, kind of like in House of Cards, when the two main characters realized that they both broke the fourth wall, they kind of joined together and broke it together. I would love to see Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill do that, like at the end of like the second movie, where they've both been talking to you the whole time, and then they realize that, oh, we can hear each other, and now we're gonna talk to you. I would love to see that. What I really liked about this movie as well, it wasn't too heavy. There involves a plot of someone trying to get killed, or someone trying to kill someone, and Enola Holmes has to stop this from happening, and stuff like that. There is a little bit of dark story here, but everything's kept pretty light. Burn Gorman plays this assassin, and I really dug his character. I wish they could have done a little more with him, but he always seemed like, what was that villain in Resident Evil 3, the Nemesis, where it would just come out when you least expect it. He would just kind of pop up. Once you see him at the first, you know he's going to be trouble. And he ends up, while he's not the main villain, he is involved with the main villain. And he's always chasing this character that Enola meets. But she ends up having to face off against this character multiple times. And unlike a lot of hero movies, our hero is not very invincible. She's capable. She is taught like jujitsu and how to fight and everything in her life. And we meet some of her teachers and stuff. But let's just say that Burn Gorman's character, he puts it to her a few times.
I was taught to fight.
So that was another thing I loved about this movie is you have this hero. She's very capable. She's still learning. She doesn't know a lot about the world at all because she's been with her mom, just growing up with her mom forever. And the one thing she didn't learn was the world. But she's also not invincible. She loses. She has to escape sometimes. While she does, of course, get the better of Burn Gorman's character in the end, she has to work for it. I really like that. So yeah, you don't have an invincible hero. You have a hero that needs to learn. And I really dug that. The acting in this is a lot of fun. Look, I haven't watched Stranger Things. So my exposure to Millie Bobby Brown was the Godzilla movie. And I didn't think she was that great in it. I don't think it was really her fault, because after seeing this, she's really good in this, and she's a lot of fun, and she's charming, and she can keep your attention. She can tell a story, and she does. She has to in this because she's basically telling you the whole story. But then also, Henry Cavill in this is great. I didn't get as much of him as I'd liked. I'd like to have him in more of another movie if they do another one. And again, they do tease a second one. So I would like more of him. Of course, Henry Cavill's just great. His Sherlock Holmes, though, is still relatively young. They don't even mention Watson. They say he works alone all the time. So the character Watson is not even a thing in this. So You have a Sherlock Holmes that, while he's very well known and all of that, he's not the complete Sherlock Holmes yet. Then you have Sam Claflin as Mycroft Holmes. As I mentioned earlier, the guy's a tool. He represents the old society not wanting to change to allow like the progression of women, and that is a big theme in this movie, is about the progression of women, women having more rights, not having to just be baby makers, not having to just be happy and getting married and have to go to reform schools and all that stuff. And his character at times is just a horrible, horrible person. And you're supposed to not like him. His character doesn't really even learn anything in this. His character more just in the end gives up. They didn't force a change on this character, and I was fine with that. Helena Bonham Carter as Enola's mom. She's in a lot of flashbacks. You get to see the things that she taught Enola over time. She's pretty good in this. Again, I mentioned Bern Gorman's character. He's really good. I just really dug the cast. They seem like they're having a lot of fun, and they all did a pretty good job. There wasn't really anybody in this that I was like, man, I didn't think they were that great. When it comes to the setting, it's very colorful. It's bright, unless the scenery requires it to be dark and moody and everything. It's colorful, and it seems, even in the more dire times, they try to have fun with it and keep it nice and colorful and everything. And I really like that. The movie has a decent sense of humor. It knows when to get serious. Sometimes it kind of forces the seriousness, but it does not ruin this at all. The movie overall is fun. Minor flaws aside with story and everything, they left enough open you could have another one. But this movie has Enola's mission to find her mom, and then this side case, and then they leave enough to where you could have a second one. And from what I'm understanding, Millie Bobby Brown wants to make a second one. Cool. I'm good with that. I really dug this movie, so I'd really love to see Netflix make another one, even two more, if the second story is good as well, is as good as this one. All in all, this movie's a lot of fun. It doesn't get like real dirty or anything. It's PG-13, but anybody could watch this. I would show this movie to my kids. It's got fun action. It's funny. It's charming. It's just a really fun movie, and honestly, I didn't know what I was going to think of this going into it. And while again, I would have taken a little bit of the mugging for the camera out, and I would have had more Henry Cavill in it. Other than that, my major issues with this, I hadn't really no major issues with this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I do highly recommend it. It's just a fun watch. It's about a 2-hour movie, which they do need the time to tell the stories that they're telling. But it's just a fun mystery movie that is led by a charming narrator that's telling you the story as it goes along. And plus you get Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes, and he's a lot of fun too. And I want to see more of both him and Millie Bobby Brown as these characters. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel. Like this video. If you have anything to say about Enola Holmes, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I'm your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. It's elementary, my dear Watson.